Ever checked your credit score on Credit Karma and then checked it again a few days later, only to find it hasn't budged? You're not alone. It's a question I get asked all the time. How often is my Credit Karma score actually updated? It's frustrating, right? You're trying to keep tabs on your financial health. Maybe you're working on improving your score, and you're relying on this tool to give you accurate, up-to-date information. But if it's not updating regularly, it can feel like you're flying blind. Before we dive into the specifics of Credit Karma's updates, let's quickly recap what a credit score actually is and why it matters. Think of it as a financial report card. It's a 3-digit number that summarizes your creditworthiness, basically how likely you are to repay borrowed money. Lenders, like banks and credit card companies, use this score to assess the risk of lending to you. A higher score generally means you're seen as a responsible borrower, which opens doors to better interest rates on loans, higher credit limits, and even approval for things like apartments and insurance. On the flip side, a lower score can lead to higher interest rates, difficulty getting approved for credit, and even impact your ability to rent a place to live or get certain jobs. Now, there are different credit scoring models out there, the most common being FICO and VantageScore. Credit Karma uses the VantageScore 3.0 model. This is important to remember because it means the score you see on Credit Karma might be slightly different from the score a lender pulls using the FICO model. They use different algorithms and weigh different factors slightly differently. So, where do these credit scores come from? They're based on the information in your credit reports, which are maintained by 3 major credit bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. These reports contain a detailed history of your credit activity, including things like payment history. This is the most important factor and shows whether you pay your bills on time. Amounts owed. This looks at how much debt you have relative to your available credit. Length of credit history. This considers how long you've had credit accounts open. Credit mix. This looks at the different types of credit you use, such as credit cards, installment loans, and mortgages. New credit. This considers how often you apply for new credit. Now, finally, we get to the core of the question. How often does Credit Karma update? Credit Karma gets its data from Equifax and TransUnion. It's important to note that Credit Karma does not directly update your credit reports. They simply pull information from these bureaus. This means that the frequency of updates on Credit Karma depends on how often these credit bureaus update their records. Generally, Equifax and TransUnion update their credit reports every 30 days. This means that you can expect your Credit Karma score to update roughly once a month. However, there's no set schedule. Sometimes it might be a little sooner, sometimes a little later. It's not an exact science. There are a few key things to understand about this monthly update cycle. Not all accounts report at the same time. Different lenders report to the credit bureaus at different times of the month. So, even if the bureaus are updating monthly, the information they receive might be staggered. This means that a change in your credit activity might not show up on Credit Karma immediately, even if it has already been reported to one of the bureaus. Updates are not real-time. Credit Karma is not a real-time reflection of your credit activity. It's a snapshot in time based on the data they receive from the credit bureaus. So, if you make a payment today, it's not going to instantly show up on your Credit Karma score. It needs to be reported to the credit bureau first, and then Credit Karma needs to pull that updated information. No guarantee of a change. Just because Credit Karma updates monthly doesn't mean your score will change every month. If there's no new information reported to the credit bureaus, your score will likely remain the same. Now, you might be wondering, are there any exceptions to this roughly monthly update? Sometimes, you might see more frequent updates. This can happen if there's a significant change in your credit report, such as opening a new credit account. This will add a new entry to your credit report and can affect your score. Closing a credit account. This can also impact your score, especially if it was one of your older accounts. A significant change in your credit utilization. This is the ratio of your outstanding debt to your available credit. A significant increase or decrease in this ratio can trigger a more frequent update. A derogatory mark being added to your report. This could be a late payment, a collection account, or a bankruptcy. However, these more frequent updates are not guaranteed. It still depends on when the information is reported to the credit bureaus and when Credit Karma pulls that data. So, what can you do to ensure you're getting the most accurate and up-to-date information possible? Check your credit reports directly. While Credit Karma is a convenient tool, it's a good idea to check your actual credit reports from Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion at least once a year. You can do this for free at annualcreditreport.com. This will give you a more comprehensive view of your credit history and allow you to identify any errors or discrepancies. Understand the factors that affect your score. Knowing how your payment history, amounts owed, length of credit history, credit mix, and new credit impact your score can help you make informed decisions about your credit behavior. Be patient. Remember that credit scores are not updated in real time. It takes time for information to be reported and processed. Don't obsess over checking your score every day. A monthly check is usually sufficient. In summary, Credit Karma typically updates your score roughly once a month based on data received from Equifax and TransUnion. However, the exact timing can vary, and there's no guarantee your score will change every month. It's important to understand that Credit Karma is a tool that provides a snapshot of your credit health, not a real-time reflection. Checking your actual credit reports and understanding the factors that influence your score are crucial for maintaining good credit. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.